I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
Yes, 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 and yes, Thrive Nation. We're talking today about how to become sustainably rich. We're teaching specifically out of the new book I wrote called A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich, a step-by-step guide to building a successful money-generating and time freedom-creating business. And we're going to page 64 of this book. And on page 64 of this book, which, by the way, folks, you can download the book for free at thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. That's thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. That's where you want to go if you want to download the book for free. And so on this page, I write, what problems can you solve for your ideal and likely buyers? Bottom line, the first step you must take to start a successful business is to solve real problems that real humans have in exchange for real money. If you already have customers because you are already solving problems for real humans, I strongly encourage you to make a list of the problems that your ideal and likely buyers have and what products and services you offer to them to help provide them solutions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a new document here. I'm going to pull up a new document. And I would encourage everybody out there, if you're listening, go to page 64 of this book and go through and take notes yourself. Download the book at thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, or you can follow along with us today here. So here we go. Andrew, we're going to use the Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge, and we're going to use Tip Top Canine as two examples of companies that I'm involved in that solve problems for our ideal and likely buyers. So first off, what is Elephant in the Room, sir?
Elephant in the Room is a men's grooming lounge, which means they get men come in and get their hair cut. It's a very nice experience. A good way to describe it is a country club for men's hair.
Beautiful. Okay, so the problems that the Elephant in the Room solves, the problems, we'll make a column for problems,
yep,
and a column for solutions. So the problems would be a man has hair that needs to be cut. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Why doesn't the man just go cut his own hair?
Ooh, I think most guys probably have tried cutting their own hair, and it doesn't typically end up too great.
Okay, so the man wants to look good after his haircut. All right?
Yes.
The next is a man needs to clean his hair. Why does a man need to clean his hair?
Oh man, because if
there are people that we've had to have this discussion with over the years.
There's people that have come in that this is the first time that they've cleaned their hair before, and it's like,
and we've had people that have applied for jobs, and we've had to point out
this is true.
You have not cleaned your hair in a while.
It's a fun conversation to have.
Let me ask you this: how often per year have you had to have this conversation with somebody? For me, it seems like it's probably once a month as an employer. I've had to point out, hey, you probably need to clean your hair. Have you had to? Have you ever had
It's
that?
probably like every other month or every 3 months for me.
Every other month or every 3 months. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So a man needs to clean his hair. Now the solution we offer is we offer a shampoo experience. Okay. So the man enjoys a haircut, a shampoo experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after you get a haircut, you got, hair in your hair, and it's good to get a shampoo. So that's another problem.
And why do guys like the shampoo at the elephant in the room as opposed to going and shampooing their own hair after getting a haircut?
That's a great question, because we've got some very specific shampoo that we use that's got a specific smell and a specific feel when you're getting a shampoo. So it's different from any other experience.
Okay. A man would like a scalp massage. So a man wants a scalp massage. So a man says, you know what? I want a scalp massage. We at the Elephant in the Room offer a scalp massage. Why does a man like a scalp massage as opposed to running around giving himself a scalp massage?
It's a great question. Just because he wants it. It's a problem. He wants it.
You're not a scalp expert. That's fair. Okay.
Not a scalp expert.
And we could go on and on doing this, but the point is the elephant in the room. We solve the problems for the man who wants to have a look or a style. So the problem is a man wants to have a hairstyle, right? A hairstyle that he likes. Now,
true.
Why can't the man run around and give himself his own hairstyle? Why does a consultation help sometimes?
Because frankly, a lot of guys don't even know what they want. They walk in there and they're like, I want something kind of like this. And so the professional, the stylist, in their professional opinion, has to go down with the guy and decide, do you want this or do you want this? Do you want this or do you want this? So they got to go through it with them.
And so the problems we solve at Elephant in the Room are here. The solutions we have are here. And we could go on and on giving examples all day. And if you want to see more examples, just go to eitrlounge.com. That's eitrlounge.com. We didn't reinvent the word haircut or invent the word haircut, but we believe that we do provide haircuts better than most places. And we know that customers agree, which is why we are the busiest men's grooming lounge in Oklahoma, and we have been for over a decade. Now we move on to the next business is Tip Top Canine. Tip Top Canine. So the problems that somebody has is a man or woman, all right, has a dog that they want to train. They have a dog that needs to be trained. They have a dog that needs to be trained. Why does somebody have a dog that needs to be trained? Yeah,
because a lot of the American population has a dog first. So they've got a dog, and most dogs, just as they are not trained. So when someone walks in the door, they're going to bark. When they're out for a walk, they're going to be trying to pull on the leash. They're going to be aggressive, whatever's happening. So most people who have a dog need dog training.
So we're going to put right here so that it fits into my columns here. A human has a dog that needs to be trained. So the solution is a human could, I guess, watch all the dog videos online and go to some kind of dog training school to learn how to become the best dog trainer. Why would somebody want to pay to have their dog trained as opposed to learning how to train dogs themselves?
Yeah, and actually most people who come to Tip Top Canine have tried it all themselves. A lot of people have watched the YouTube videos, tried all the training methods, but they cannot figure it out. And so when they call Tip Top Canine, they're calling an expert. They're calling somebody who actually really truly knows how to train a dog. And they're skipping through that pain and that process of having to do it themselves.
And I can tell you, the founder of Tip Top Canine, Ryan Wimpy there, he really knows how to train dogs. He has a system. Yeah. He has a process. He's nailed it down. He's refined it. And so that's why I teamed up with him to scale it. All right. So again, a man has a dog that needs to be trained. A human has a dog that needs to be trained. And the solutions are that a human wants their dogs to be trained.
That's right.
And we move on. Okay. Other problems I would say is that a human has ongoing dog training needs. So like they have a dog and they kind of want to get ongoing coaching.
Yeah, even after the training.
Ongoing tune-ups.
That's
and
right.
So Tip Top, tell us about that a little bit. Tip Top Canine, if you're out there listening and you're in the states where a Tip Top Canine franchise is located, Tip Top Canine offers ongoing training. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so it's something called group classes. And so after you get your dog trained, you get unlimited group classes. So they meet you and all of their other clients that have worked with them who decide to come on like a Saturday or a Thursday. And you guys show up at a park and they just do group training. And so if you're wanting to get your dog better at something or they need to work on something, you can show up there and they can help tweak your dog.
So what we're doing here is if you go to eitrlounge.com, you can see the problems that we solve and the solutions that we offer. Now, if you go to tiptopcanine.com, you can see the problems that we solve and the solutions that we offer. Now, this is how we do it. This is, and I think a lot of people right here in business, they get stuck right here because it becomes too complicated or too woo-woo, or I don't know what happens right here. I don't know how we go from this easy task of finding problems and solving them into a woo-woo off-the-rails discussion as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. But I know that this is something where a lot of people get stuck on. They get hung up on. So we're going to go to page 65 of this book here, page 65. And I'm going to read this to you, folks. And here we go. The practical steps of turning your dreams into reality. All right. Now I need your permission to get intense here for a second. Intense, like we're outside camping. And I need for you to underline and highlight these words. Nobody cares about your success more than you. And in most cases, even at all. I care and you care, and potentially you have a spouse or partner or a friend who cares, but nobody is going to care about your business more than you. So when it's time for your first all-nighter and most people are not going to be with you cheering and helping you along. My friend, if you're going to go down this path of turning your dreams into reality, I know the way, and our entire team of Thrive 15 mentors knows the way. We have a school, by the way, folks, an online business school called Thrive15.com. You can go to thrivetimeshow.com and click on the business school button, and you can sign up for the school where we have a team of millionaire mentors that will teach you how to grow a successful company. But some people prefer to come to a workshop. Some people prefer to receive one-on-one coaching. It's really, if you're listening out there today and your business is stuck, you just have to commit to taking massive action. My friend, here's an outline of the process that we will be going through. All right. It says here, stage 1, giving birth. You're going to need to formalize your business plan. You're going to need to raise the capital you need, create your logo, create your website, create your initial marketing materials, and go out there to see if the world is willing to pay you for the solutions that you provide. You think you know whom your ideal and likely buyers are, but you aren't exactly sure. You want to figure out if the human race in the marketplace is willing to buy your product or service at the price that will allow you to achieve financial freedom. Let's try it again. You just have to go out there. You have to go out there and determine if the human race or the marketplace is willing to pay you for the solutions that you offer. Bloomer, I think a lot of people right there, that's where they kind of get stuck.
Yeah, they get stuck there. They either focus too much on the brand and they're like just focusing on the logo before they even ever go try to sell something.
There you go.
And so that's why it's so important to like get version 1 out and just get started and see if people even want it before you invest hours or years of your life in something that people might not even want.
Let's do this. I'm going to pull up another example here, Bloomer. This is a company we've worked with for a long time called pmhokc.com.
Oh, yeah.
I'll actually be talking to Randy here. We're recording this show today at 4:16 in the morning, and I'll be talking to Randy at 7 a.m. So, but Randy's business is called Perfect My Home. That's what it's called, Perfect My Home. And what he sells is hot tubs, pools, pergolas, outdoor livings, these kinds of things.
Beautiful things.
And what he does is he provides these solutions to people that they absolutely love. Now, over the years, as he's grown his business, he has thought to himself, you know what? I think my customers might like this service or might like this product. And the only way he's going to know is to try to sell those products to his ideal and likely buyers. And now over time, he's figured out that people really do love the pergolas that he provides. People love the pavilions that he provides. People love the outdoor kitchens that he provides. People love the pools that he provides. And people are willing to pay the prices that he needs to charge for these items. Now, Bloomer, what if he went out there and had a product that he really wanted to sell?
Oh, yeah.
But that nobody wanted to buy?
Well, probably no one would buy it. No one would ever buy anything from him.
But this happens often.
It does. I see it.
People have a product that they want to sell that nobody wants to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're not asking your customers, so if you're not selling anything, ask your customers or your potential customers what they want. Or if you are selling something, if you're wanting to upsell or cross-sell or sell more things, then you just have to ask your current clients, what else are you looking for? What else are you doing to your backyard? What else do you need, for your dog? What else do you need while you're here getting your haircut?
Now, the reason why Randy doesn't just provide hole digging services. So the reason why when someone calls him and says, hey, I'd like to put a pool in my backyard. The reason why he doesn't just say, yeah, we would love to dig a hole for you, and then we'll refer you to somebody else to build the pool, is because he provides the entire solution. That's why with my business coaching clients, when they go to thrivetimeshow.com and they schedule a 13-point assessment, that's why for Tip Top Canine and for Elephant in the Room and all the brands we work with and PMH, that's why we provide all of the systems and processes and not just the sales.
That's right. Yeah.
So, and not just the branding or not just the marketing or not just the coaching or not just it's all one system. And since 2005, late 2005, 2006, I've been doing this. And what we do is we try to work with you as the owner. We work with you to provide a turnkey, flat rate, one-stop shop for all your business growth needs. We do the graphic design, the search engine optimization, the branding, the print piece, the photography, the videography, the coaching, everything you need to know to grow that company. But if you, at the end of the day, if you don't have a product or service that fills a need for your ideal and likely buyers, that it solves a problem for your ideal and likely buyers, you're going to have problems. So we're going to go to page 5 of the book here. Going to page 5. And I want everyone to really focus in on this page here. All right. So this first box, you have to establish your revenue goals. You have to, if you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to determine your revenue goals. You have to figure out what are your yearly revenue goals and what are your total weekly revenue goals. It is absolutely important that you do that. So we have a lot of people that reach out. They want to buy a Tip Top Canine franchise, or people that, and if somebody wants to buy a Tip Top Canine franchise, we would sit down with them and say, okay, what are your yearly revenue goals? And on average, Bloomer, what does someone pay for dog training right now at Tip Top Canine?
It's anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. Depends on what package they're looking for.
Okay, so if you're an owner right there and you said, hey, or if you're a potential franchise owner of a Tip Top Canine and you say, hey, I want to buy a Tip Top Canine franchise, and let's say your goal was to make a net income that you got to keep of $100,000 a year, then you would want to figure out, okay, well, if the average package is $2,000, then I would probably need to train, and you do the math, you go, well, I'd probably need to train 100. Well, and you start to think about the math and you go, okay, well, if I wanted to make $100,000 a year and we operate at a 30% margin, okay, then I need to do 300,000 of gross revenue. And if the average dog is $2,000, I'm going to need to train, and you do the math. Oh, 150 dogs.
There it is.
And you begin to do the math. So once you can find a problem that you can solve, then you have to move into the math. Now, the next box is you have to figure out the number of customers that you need to break even. What's the number of customers that you need to break even? It's absolutely important that you figure that out. So if you did buy a Tip Top Canine franchise, or in Randy's case, you have a company called PMHOKC.com, you have to know how many customers that you need to break even. Why do you have to have it figured out, Bloomer, how many customers you need to break even?
If you don't know the number, then it's hard to reach your goals. Going back to the first box here. So if you know your goals and you need, you need to make 100,000, 200,000, whatever it is a year, but you don't even know your break even numbers, you can't even get started on how much money you're making. The second thing is, if you don't know your break even numbers and you're just selling and selling and selling and selling, but you don't know that your expenses are $500,000 and you're only bringing in $495,000 a year, you're not breaking even. You're not even making money. You're wasting your time. It's a nonprofit without tax benefits.
So if you're listening out there today, again, what are we talking about? We're talking about how to build a scalable, successful company. And it starts with, you have to find problems that your customers are willing to pay you to solve. It's find problems and then write down all the solutions that you can provide. Okay. Then you go back to page number 5 of this book here and you establish the number of revenue goals. So let's go back to Randy's business. I'm just trying to give a lot of different examples. So if you went back to PMHOKC and let's say that his average ticket was $100,000 for a pool, and let's say that his average profit margin was 30%. I don't know that that's his profit number, but let's just say that it was. Okay, if the pool's $100,000 and you're making a 30% margin, so let's just say he's making $30,000 per project. And I'm not saying he is. I don't know that number. But you would do the math and you say, well, if I want to do $300,000 a year of income or profit, then I would need to do 100 projects.
100 pools.
And you have to just think that way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think that way, entrepreneurship is a lot of fun and you can have a lot of success. But if you don't think that way, it becomes very emotional. And now you're talking about looking for a life coach. Now you're talking about looking for a credit counselor. Because after all the life coaching wears off and you still don't have success, now you're talking about looking for a financial coach to help you financially consolidate all your debt into one thing. And after that, now you're talking about a therapist after you've gone through bankruptcy, and that's not good. So if you don't want to, I'm serious, this is stuff that happens though.
It is.
People that refuse to do the literal work that a business coach could provide, or that, that if they refuse to do the actual work, they end up looking around for some sort of financial coach to help them consolidate their debt.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, they end up looking for a therapist after they've gone to bankruptcy. This is what happens.
That's right. And sometimes it just takes somebody else from the outside looking at your numbers, looking at your business, because it takes the emotion out of it. And then you see, okay, well, you need X amount of dollars to break even. And then it's just all literal and it's great. Then you can crank.
Now, page 4, you want to create a 3-legged marketing stool. What does that mean? You want to create a way in which you attract your ideal and likely buyers and you market to them in a turnkey way. Now, for Tip Top Canine, when I first started working with them, they knew how to solve problems for their ideal and likely buyers.
That's right. Yep.
What they didn't know how to do, what we helped them to do, was to build all the systems that allowed them to scale the successful company. When I first started working with the elephant in the room, we had people all around that could cut hair, but we had to build all the systems needed to scale it out. When I first met with Randy, he knew how to build, and he still knows how to build. That's what he does. He's a great builder. And he actually is a great salesperson too. We just had to work with him on refining some of those systems. So we move on to box number 5, improve the branding. People, it turns out, people do judge a book by its cover. They do make decisions based upon the appearance or the branding of a product or service. And it's very important today that you ask the question to yourself, how good is your branding? How good is your branding? How good is your website? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would encourage you to write it down. How good is your website on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest? How good is your print pieces? How good are your brochures? How good are anything the customer sees? Your signage, how good is that? Your business cards, how good are those? Your one sheet, your auto wraps, anything that a customer sees is going to be their first impression. And it's absolutely super important. Bloomer, we've helped a lot of companies grow. Branding is something that every customer needs at the beginning.
True.
Well, you can, but it is possible to get stuck there infinitely tweaking print pieces to avoid getting the accountability needed. I mean, it's possible to say, rather than holding people accountable to following the systems, I'm going to spend my whole day building new systems. It is possible.
It is possible. And a lot of people do that. They get stuck in the branding and constantly try to make it better. The super move is, because a lot of times you look at your brand, you're like, what is a good brand? What makes a good brand? Well, go find whoever's the best in your industry and go make it better than them. But once it's there, don't get stuck and then get back to selling and actually sell something.
This is so important, okay? This is very important. I'm going to move on to box number 6. You have to create a unique value proposition. Now, I'm giving you 3 examples today. One company builds things, that's PMH OKC. The other company cuts hair, and the other company is a dog training company. Let me go ahead and give another example, because I want to make sure we're giving multiple examples. We'll do Papa Gallo's, a great business we've worked with for years. They're a pizza, they're a restaurant. They provide gourmet, upscale, Italian American food. That's Dave, the founder of the company. And let me do another example. So I'm just trying to give a lot of examples so people can see that this works in a variety of industries. Let's go with KL Ortho. This is another longtime client. So I'm just giving you some examples. So if you're an orthodontist, you're a dog trainer, you cut hair, you're building pools and pergolas, or you're building pizzas, you might say, well, how do these businesses have that in common? Well, they're all kind of the same from my perspective as a business consultant, having grown these businesses. Let's throw another one in there. Let's throw in a longtime client, winnersking.com. They're a law firm, a law firm we've worked with. So you go, what does a law firm have in common with an orthodontist, what do they have in common with Tip Top Canine? What do they have in common with Elephant in the Room, with PMH OKC, with Papagallos? Well, all of the businesses, step one, they've established revenue goals. Step two, they have break-even numbers that they need to hit to break even. 3, they know the number of hours they're willing to work. Bloomer, why is it so critical that every person out there knows how many hours that they're willing to work and their spouse knows how many hours that they are willing to work?
Yeah, you got to be on the same page. One, with your spouse. You got to be on the same page with your spouse, because if you and your spouse have goals, first you got to set goals with your spouse. So you got to back it up even further than that. You got to know what you and your spouse want, because once you determine what you and your spouse want, then you can determine, all right, I need to work 80 hours, 60 hours, 40 hours so I can get to the spot where we're working 10 hours, 20 hours, whatever that time slot is. So you have to get on the same page, and you have to know exactly what you got to do to get there. And you've got to be on the same page with your spouse.
Let me pull this up real quick here. This is a calendar. I'm just going to show people my calendar today so you can see. This is my Saturday. Okay, this is my Saturday. So here we go. So today we're recording a podcast today. That's what we're doing.
That's right.
And because it's in the schedule, we're doing it. And then at 6 o'clock, I have a meeting. And at 7 o'clock, I have a meeting. And then I'm going to leave today and I'm going to go speak at a event in Tulsa. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a meeting. And I have my day mapped out. My day is planned out. So I'm not shocked by my day. My day doesn't take me by surprise. I don't say, uh-oh, there's my day. I did not know this was going to happen today. And I think a lot of people live like that. They don't have their day planned out. They don't have the hours they're willing to work. So my kids have a cheerleading event this weekend in Dallas. And the reason why I'm not going is because it doesn't work with my business schedule. It doesn't work with it. And I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Now, somebody else out there listening, you might feel bad about it. There's somebody out there listening right now today, and you and your spouse think that you need to go to the cheerleading event. And if you think that you need to go to the cheerleading event, I would encourage you to go to the cheerleading event. But if you feel like that you as a couple don't need to go, then don't go. But the way that my wife and I have built our business is that I am not going to take time away from my clients and my commitments to go to Dallas on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I like to work Monday through Saturday. That's what I like to do.
6 days a week.
That's what I like to do.
All right. It's biblical.
It's in Genesis and it's in Exodus. But if you don't want to, if you're out there listening today and you want to work 5 days a week, I've got one of my great clients right now, Clay Stairs. His goal when we first started working with him, he said, what I want to do is I want to get to a place where I work 4 days a week. And he worked 6 days a week en route to building his company.
Yeah.
But he said to me, I really want to get to a place in my life where I'm working just 4 days a week. So Bloomer, why do people get stuck there? I think a lot of people get stuck right here on box 3. We're working with them to grow their business, and they get stuck on how many hours a week that they're willing to work.
Yeah, they get stuck because, they might think that as an entrepreneur, they should be able to work 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week, whatever that is, because that's what the world puts out there. Once you're an entrepreneur or business owner, you can work as little as you want off the beach and whatever, which it's totally possible. You can get to that, but you've got to put in the time to get there. You've got to build the systems. You've got to create the sales scripts. You've got to create the call scripts. You've got to create the one sheets. You got to create the website. You've got to create it, scale, nail it out, nail down the systems. Then you can scale it. Then you can work as much as you want. But first you have to establish the fact that you have to put in the work to get there.
Now I'm going to brag on our clients here. Clay Stairs from claystairs.com. He took the time needed to work 6 days a week, 5 days a week. He did whatever it took to build claystairs.com, to build the leadership initiative, to get it to a place where it needed to go. And then after he did that, he then was able to reorganize his schedule and move to the 4-day work week that he had in mind.
Yeah, and he was able to sit down with his incredible wife, and they were able to work out a good schedule where he was cranking it out and working a ton of hours until they were at a spot where he could work 4 days a week. And now they're living their goal life, their dream life.
Now let's look at another client here. This is wintersking.com. wintersking.com. This is a great law firm. We've had the pleasure of working with them for a long time. And again, they do a phenomenal job. But you know what? When they started the practice, They had to put a lot of work into building it from scratch.
Yeah, they did.
And now they've built it. They still work a lot. I'm just saying, but when you start the business, when you initially build the business, there's a lot of hours that need to go into building the business. And then over time, if you do it right, you should earn that time freedom.
Yep.
Let's look at Kirkpatrick and Lye. He's an orthodontist. What would happen if every single orthodontist that worked there decided that they were going to work 1 day a week? If every orthodontist, let's just say, what would happen if every orthodontist said, you know what, we've achieved time freedom and financial freedom. We've built all these systems and now we're all going to work 1 day a week. What would happen?
They probably wouldn't have any customers at the end of the day.
Why?
Because everyone would be at home.
Why?
Because no one wants to go to a place that's inconsistent. That'd be the same thing like if you went to Chick-fil-A and they were closed Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, because they wanted to be closed because they had achieved time freedom. Like the customers need to be able to go to your business and experience the same level of quality every single day that you're open and that you say that you're going to be open.
I'm just throwing this out because what happens is, I'm telling you, once you build these systems, you got to be on the same page for how many hours that you want to work.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Otherwise, you'll start to see friction.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. What if your front desk guy, he works with you and he's like, we're going to work together to earn time freedom, boss. To quote Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah.
And then you, one day you say, okay, we got the systems. They're all built, buddy. Thank you for helping me build the business. Woo! So now I'm going to go to the beach. And then your front desk guy says, I'm going too. And you go, no. Because if you go and I go, there won't be anybody here. Why can that get awkward, Bloom?
It'd be pretty awkward because then, someone walks in the door, no one greets them. They don't know what they're doing.
But why can this get awkward for a business owner if everybody in the business thinks that they're going to get time freedom as soon as these business systems are done?
Well, it can get awkward because, you have to have a team of people. You have to have a team that's willing to put in the work as well.
Which is why we coach the owner of the business and we don't coach the employees who work in the business.
Yeah. It would be weird if I, as a business consultant, coached your employee on how to create time freedom so that way they can work for you less.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
Kind of odd.
That's really odd.
Okay. Another example. Okay. So I'm just walking you through this. Tip Top Canine. That's a great brand. It's a great business. They've really done a good job building that business. And again, how did they build the business? They had to establish the number of the amount of revenue, the revenue goals, their yearly revenue goals, their total weekly gross revenue goals, their break-even numbers, the number of customers needed to break even, the number of hours that they were willing to work. Now, box 3, you've got to come up with a 3-legged marketing stool.
Got to do it.
How do you go out there and market your business to your ideal and likely buyers? And that's what we helped Tip Top Canine do. When we first met with them, there was a lot of things that they were doing. And we had to say, here are the 3 best ways to acquire customers. And if you go to tiptopcanine.com today and you want to learn more about buying a franchise, that's what you're basically paying for. You're paying for a turnkey system that will produce results for you and your family so that you have the opportunity to go out there and earn both time freedom and financial freedom. That's how that process works. We want to create time freedom and financial freedom for you. And we can do that for you. If you go to tiptopcanine.com and you learn more about buying a franchise, you can learn those systems. Now, the next box here, improving the branding. It's absolutely important that, again, your branding is top notch. Your print pieces, your website, your logo, everything that your customer sees needs to be awesome. Now, your unique value proposition. You have to make sure that you find a niche in the marketplace where you're solving problems in a way that is unique to your competition, or a way that at least gets the phone call. So don't over spiritualize this idea. Kirkpatrick and Lye doesn't need to be the most innovative orthodontist in the world. In his case, what we found is because he does such a good job that having testimonials is really his unique differentiators. Having so many testimonials, that's what makes him a no-brainer. Elephant in the room, the first haircut is $1. That's what makes it a great deal for potential customers to check out there. Yeah. If you go to Elephant in the Room, again, that first haircut is $1. If you go to Tip Top Canine, that first lesson is $1. If you go to PMH OKC, they've got great financing options, and they have incredible prices, and they have a lot of testimonials that wow people. But you've got to find a way. What is the way that you're going to wow that first time potential customer? How do you do that? Papa Gallo's is a beach side restaurant. They're right on the water. in Florida, and people love the views. They love the atmosphere. And it turns out Dave prides himself on providing great food. And I was just talking to him yesterday about this. Most people don't really differentiate in their mind on a scale of 1 to 10, with like the 10 being the best food,
right,
and 1 being the worst. Most people really don't know the difference between like a 7 and a 9.
Yeah. Yep.
If the atmosphere is great.
If the atmosphere is great, it makes up for a lot of stuff.
That's all they care about.
That's what they do.
So there's people that go to restaurants where the music's great, the ambiance is great, the vibe, the energy is great, but the food's okay.
Yeah.
And Dave's always made great food, but now we're helping him build a great experience. All right. So the next here is you have to have a sales conversion system. So with Tip Top Canine, we've had to help them over the years, build the scripts, install call recording, create one sheets, have pre-written emails, lead trackers, because you have, once leads start coming in, you have to convert those leads into paying customers. And so again, that's what we help our clients do, is to build the scripts, the systems, the one sheets, the pre-written emails, the trackers. That's absolutely important that everybody out there, you have that in place to grow your company. Now, the next box, you have to determine the sustainable cost to acquire a new customer. Bloomer, if you're out there spending $1,000 a week on your Google ads, and your Facebook ads and all your online ads, and you get 10 leads. So if you spend $1,000 a week and you get 10 leads,
$100 a lead,
you're paying $100 per lead.
That's it. Yeah.
And if you close 1 out of 2 leads, how much does it cost you per deal?
$200 per deal.
There you go. So let's go back to Tip Top Canine. Let's say you're spending $1,000 a week on advertising.
Yep.
And you're getting 20 leads.
Yeah.
So it's $50 a lead.
$50 a lead.
And if you land 1 out of every 2 customers that converts into a paying customer, if you close 1 out of every 2 inquiries and turn it into a customer, you can do the math, and then you can figure out whether you can scale it or not.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I think a lot of people get stuck here in this next box called build repeatable systems, processes, and file organization. Most entrepreneurs don't like to be organized.
Yeah.
They don't.
They don't like it. It's not the fun part. No one likes sitting down on a Saturday and diving into their files and organizing them all, naming them all, creating an organization system. It's not fun, but it's necessary.
And for some reason, I do like organizing those things.
Ooh.
So that's something I enjoy, and that's something I'm good at, and that's why people pay us money to do that. People pay us to build a successful company and to help them scale their company. I would just encourage everybody out there, if you're listening today and you have a business that is disorganized, then you really don't have an organization. You have a disorganization. So it's absolutely critical that everybody out there, that you organize your systems and processes in a scalable way. Now, the next box, as you're creating both time and financial freedom, is you have to master the art of managing people. Now, managing people, I personally think managing people is an easy thing. People tell me it's the hardest thing. I can teach you how to manage people. I can teach you the processes for that. But at the end of the day, managing people is about getting humans on the planet Earth to follow the systems. And what will happen is humans don't want to follow systems on the planet Earth. And so over time, they will begin to passively, aggressively not follow your systems.
Yep.
So if you want your employees to be at work on time, over time, they will begin to show up less and less on time.
1 minute at a time.
Why?
Why? It's just because people drift. People want to test the waters. They want to see how late can I show up and not get fired? How much can I sleep in? How much can I? Which is why you have to have a system like a huddle every single morning, right when everyone's supposed to be there, to show like, hey, Greg's walking in the door and it's 7:01.
Greg's walking in the door.
Greg's walking in the door. Everyone turns their head and looks at Greg. Now we know that Greg's late. It can help, mitigate those things, but you've got to have a system to figure out who's late, who's not late. And then once you do that, you've got to have a hiring system as well.
I highly recommend you have a daily huddle every single day.
It's a great thing.
We do it every day at 7 a.m. and it really does keep people from drifting.
Yeah.
The next is you want to create a sustainable and repetitive weekly schedule. You've got to have a system in place where, okay, in our case, every single Wednesday night, I do the group interview. Let me pull up my calendar again here. So every single Wednesday night, I do an interview where I interview all job applicants. Bloomer, why do I interview all job applicants every single Wednesday at 5:30?
Yeah, because it works for you. It's sustainable. It fits in your sustainable weekly schedule. What wouldn't be sustainable, and what a lot of people do, is they run a job ad, they get 100 people that respond or apply to the ad, and then they schedule 100 one-on-one interviews that last half an hour over the span of the next 2 or 3 weeks.
There it is.
That's not that's not scalable. You cannot have that and have like a happy schedule, So with the group interview, you condense all of those interviews, every single one of them. And the fact is that half or more, probably 80% of them, aren't even going to show up into a 1 hour time block every single week. And it's at a spot that works for you and not necessarily for them, but for you.
So it's every single Wednesday at 5:30.
Oh, yeah.
Every single Wednesday at 5:30.
Every Wednesday.
We do the group interview.
Yep. Every week.
Every single day. Every single day, our work day here starts at 6, okay? That's when the coaches get to work. That's when the coaches get there at 7. That's when we have our clients that are there. There's a process that we do every single week, and you have to have a sustainable weekly schedule. If people don't have a sustainable weekly schedule, they can't have success. You can't have every day being a new variety show as to whether someone will show up or not. It can't work like that. You have to have a sustainable weekly schedule. And I'm telling you, if you're out there and you own a company, 9 out of 10 employees are not going to want to stick into that schedule, but you have to follow it. You have to have a strong enough of a personality or mindset or a work ethic to hold people accountable to following the systems. If you have in the case of the restaurant, okay, we go back, I'm just trying to give you examples with Papa Gallo's. They have specific recipes that need to be followed. And if people follow the recipes, then the food tastes good.
That's right.
If they don't follow the recipes, it will be a problem. Yeah. So this is just absolutely critical that you make the systems, but then you have to get people to follow the systems, and we'll teach you how to do that. Now, the next box is you have to hire people. And how do you find good people? And we will teach you how to find good people. It's not hard to find good people. There's just proven processes and proven systems that you can use. But what you're going to want to do is figure out, how do you build a team of only A players? How do you build a team where you only have A and B players? How do you build a team where let me define these. An A player is someone who shows up to work on time or early every day. So an A player shows up on time or early every single day, and they don't leave until the work is done. That's what an A player is, the kind of person that's always there on time or early, and they never leave until the work is done. That's what an A player does.
That's right.
Now, a B player is somebody who gets there late pretty much every day and leaves a little bit early every day. That's what a B player is. And a C player is someone who's always late, who always leaves early, and never gets the job done. Let me recap. An A player always gets there on time or early, and they always don't leave until the work is done. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
B players are always a little bit late, and they leave a little bit early, and that's just what they do.
That's what they do.
And a C player is always late. They never get anything done, and that's just what they do.
Yep.
And it's a personality trait. You're not going to fix it. You're not going to find people and motivate them and life coach them into success. You just have to interview until you find A players and B players to work in your company. Now, the next box, you have to do your accounting.
Oh, yeah.
Now, recently I had a client I was working with, and I'll just be kind of vague on this, but they were telling me, man, the expenses for this particular event they were organizing have gone way over. Well, it's not like the expenses got away from them on their own.
Right.
It's not like the expenses are some personality that woke up, some entity that woke up and got away from them. You know what I mean? It's not like there was it's not like there's a runaway expense that was chasing after them and took their money.
Right. No.
They, as the owners of their company, chose to spend money that was outside of their budget, and that is how they spent more money than was previously agreed upon.
Right.
And that is why they are having a budget problem.
Right.
So it is really important, though, that you do your accounting and you know your numbers, because if you don't know your numbers, then you begin to drift and have financial problems. Now, the final box is you want to ask, what is the point of achieving financial success? And I know what I'm saying to people out there is probably going to rattle somebody. Somebody out there is going to go, I used to like your show, but now I don't. Someone out there is going to go, I love your show now, man. I love your show. because of what you're saying right now, because it gets into the opinion thing, and I don't do opinions.
Yeah.
I'm a fact guy.
Facts.
But I'm telling you, we get to the end here, it really is an opinion. I mean, how do you view success?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this is what I'm going to do on Sunday. I'm going to go to church on Sunday. That's what I'm going to do. Now, someone says, what? Church? Are you allowed to say that on a show? Yeah, I'm going to go to church on Sunday, and I'm going to go to church, and after church, I've got nothing on my schedule for the day, and I'm going to get a lot of things done, but I'm not technically working on Sunday. Why? Because there's things I want to do. There's things in the Bible that I would like to read about and know more about. I want to know more. I'm going to block out time, and I'm going to read the Bible. I'm going to read certain things that I want to know more about. Specifically, I'm really honing in right now to the book of Daniel. I really want to just understand the book of Daniel. Someone says, well, why? How does that help you make more money? That's what I want to do. I want to know more about the book of Daniel, and I'm reading the book of Daniel. I'm also reading the book of Luke. And someone says, well, how does that help you make more money? This just in. That's not my only goal in life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. Also, another example, things that someone probably won't like is, again, I'm not in Dallas this morning at a cheer event. Why? Because I don't want my Saturdays to be spent at a cheerleading event. I don't want to. Now, if the events are in Tulsa, I will go see my kids perform. I will do it. If the events are at night during the week, I'll go do it. But I'm not going to have a life where I travel every single weekend to cheerleading competitions all over the distant country just because a highly motivated cheer coach has convinced my daughters to do cheerleading. I'm not going to do it. And I don't feel bad about it.
Right. Yeah. It's not on the goal list.
It's not on my list.
Yeah.
It wasn't on my list. It's not going to be on my list. It's not something I want to do. These are controversial things. I know someone's going to get mad. Somebody's going to get upset right now. Someone's going to say, I used to love your show, but now I don't. My family recently, my daughter has an end of the year trip where they want to take all the families to Israel, right? I'm not going. Why? Because I don't want to go to Israel. I have no desire to go to Israel. I don't want to go there. I don't want to walk around there. I don't want to see the stuff there. I don't want to fly on the 7-hour or 6-hour plane ride there.
Metal tube in the air. Don't want to be in there.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And somebody else out there, you say, what? Yeah. And this baffled the mind. I talked to someone yesterday and they were like, your family is going to Israel and you're not going? I'm like, I want to go. I didn't want to go. As I read the Bible, man's the head of his household. I was asked the question, do you want to go? I said no, so I'm not going, and I don't feel bad about it. And I don't know, somebody else out there you might say, don't you feel bad? No, I don't feel bad. Why? Because it's not on my list. Let's go back to this. Let's make it even more awkward. Page 5. Faith, I just told you. Family. Guess what? There's certain people in my family I don't invite over for the holidays. And someone says, why? Well, okay, let's look it up. Let's look it up here. Because if the Bible says, okay, for a companion of fools suffers harm. And this would be in the book of Proverbs, the book in favor of action. Proverbs says, he who walketh with the wise shall become wise. For a companion of fools shall suffer harm. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. I have no interest in spending my Thanksgiving with morons.
To be destroyed. Yeah.
So my wife is great. My kids are great. Certain members of the family are great, but I don't want to spend my holidays with nefarious people with life problems.
Yeah. And you can do that. You can say no.
Now, what does the word nefarious mean? Nefarious. I love the word. I love to read and define words. I like to know what words mean. A lot of times we throw out words and as a culture and we have no idea what they mean. But I'm gonna read you a word, and it means intentionally wicked or criminal. What does nefarious mean? It's an intentionally causing harm. It's extremely wicked or villainous.
It's like premeditated. Like they're thinking about it.
They've been thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've got members of my family who think about it, members of my extended family who've thought about it and thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be unfaithful to my wife and we'll just see what happens. And then their life drama is crazy.
Right.
And then they want to bring that crazy into my house. It's not happening.
On Thanksgiving.
Not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
Now, if they want to go do what they want to do, it's fine. But I've already seen how it goes. I'm 42 years old. already seen how the Thanksgiving flow goes. And I tell you this, you have a great Thanksgiving with great food, great people. You bring over one crazy person that yells a lot.
Makes it fun.
Makes it fun.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do it. So faith, I know my goals for faith, family, as I've stated, friendship. I choose not to hang out with idiots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm a kind of person who, imagine you're playing sports and you have a sports team and the sports team. Say you're a professional athlete and you play on Sundays, you play in the NFL and you're a very good player. It does, if you're a great running back, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to hang out with the kicker every single day off in order to prove that you have a functional relationship.
Right. Yeah. And it's like the same thing. You don't have to like be friends with all of your neighbors or be friends with people that you go to church with or be friends with your family because they're physically or geographically or you spend a lot of time with them because you have to or because you just do as part of your schedule. Doesn't mean you need to be friends with them. You can choose and be very intentional about who you spend your time with.
Correct. Now, fitness. Everybody out there has different fitness goals, and I encourage you to pursue every one of these areas to the extent that you want to. Finances. I'm very clear about my financial goals. I know what I want to do with my life. I talk about it on certain shows. I'm not curious as to what would happen if I did something crazy on a whim so that I could potentially get rich quick. I've gotten rich slowly over time through consistently following proven systems over time. And I follow them and I don't, do crazy, risky financial activities. That's not what I do. I'm not a bet it all on one thing. I build a business and I grow it over time. That's what I like to do.
And when you add it up, it's actually a lot faster than the get rich quick schemes because they're still poor, the people who are doing the get rich quick schemes.
Very interesting point.
It's actually a lot faster.
Fun. For fun, I like to grow companies. That's what I like to do. I personally don't quite. I would rather build systems and checklists and scripts and websites and print pieces and org charts and accounting systems. And I'd rather do that than go watch a sporting event. Yeah. For me personally. And I'm not saying you should, but that's what I like to do. It's fun for me. Now, somebody else out there, you might want to do sporting activities. That's okay. And the final area is focus. I highly recommend that you think about your goals and your schedule and where do you want to divert your focus towards? Because if you spend your day perpetually unfocused and distracted and pursuing things that the world throws at you, you're going to have a bad week every week. And the final area I want to cover today is the emotional trade-offs of a successful person. So if you're an organized person, you're going to have to carry a
to-do list.
Right. And if you're going to hold people accountable, you're going to have to
irritate some people.
Right. And you know what? I at the time of this recording, I'm getting prepared to hold somebody accountable here in the near term, and they're not going to like it.
It's true.
And I know they're not going to like it because I'm going to say, well, hey, this is what we agreed to. And they're going to go, well, I want to do something else. And I'm going to go, well, this is what we agreed to. They're going to say, well, I want to do something else. And I'm going to say, well, this is what we agreed to. And when you have a contract, you hold people accountable to something. It's like your mortgage. You get a house because you're excited about it. Over time, maybe you're less excited about your house. If you decide not to pay for your house or make that monthly payment, guess what? The mortgage company's not going to negotiate with you. Bad things happen.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like, irritated. And when somebody, works with me, I'm very much like the mortgage company. Once I commit to something, I stay on it. That's what I do. Okay.
Right. Yep.
If you're going to read, last night I was reading some stuff. So if I'm reading, that requires me to not be sleeping.
That's right. You cannot do both at once.
A lot of people, they go to work or whatever, then they go to sleep, but they don't actually take time out to read. Okay. Sales. If you're going to do sales, you're going to have to become good at overcoming rejections.
Mm-hmm.
Time freedom. If you're going to have time freedom, by the way, this is a duck, and a duck looks calm above the water, but below the water, a duck is paddling quick, fast,
frantically,
and you don't see the paddling under the water because it's under the water. And that's what I'm talking about. The trade-offs. If you're a successful business owner, people aren't going to see you paddling below the water, but they're going to just see the duck that's kind of calm on the water. Time freedom. If you're going to have time freedom, you're going to have to say no to stuff. So, like today, I have time freedom to honor the speaking event commitment that I already made months ago. And in order to honor that commitment, I'm not going to go to the cheer event.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel conflicted. I don't feel like, oh man, I wish I was there. I don't. You don't feel bad? No, because I've already committed to do something and I'm going to do it. Saving money requires delaying gratification. For anybody who's spent any amounts of time with me, you'll notice I don't really buy a lot of things or travel a lot, but things that I typically do is I like my office space to be the kind of place that I like coming to work at. Mm-hmm. So I will pour more resources or more time or more energy into making my office space a place that people want to come to. Every office I've ever had, the office at the Riverwalk, the office in downtown Tulsa, the office I used to have off of Skelly, my home office off of Lynn Lane back in the day, they've always been a place where people walk in and go, wow. And they say, man, your office is awesome. Well, I've been intentional about that. And that's something that I do, but I also am delaying gratification. And I'm consistently every month putting a little bit of money into decor. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing it all at one time. And that's just a process you do. It's called having a budget. And the final thing is time management. If you're going to manage your time and manage your day and manage your life, you're going to have a calendar. If you don't have a calendar, your life will get crazy quickly. And that is how you build a successful company. Now, if you're listening out there today and you want to schedule a 13-point assessment, what you'll want to do is you go to thrivetimeshow.com. And once you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll click here on the testimonials button. I would highly recommend that you watch testimonials until your head explodes. There are so many successful clients we've helped over the years. We have over 2,000 clients on video sharing their success stories over the years. Over 2,000.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Bloomer, over 2,000 of them.
That's a lot.
And we have so many of them. You can watch those testimonials until your head explodes. And then after you watch those testimonials, I would highly recommend that you schedule a free 13-point assessment with me to see if it's a good fit, or that you would come to one of our in-person workshops. Now, our in-person workshops, the way I charge for these is I charge people $250 or whatever price that you want to pay. So if you're listening out there today and you go, what? $250 or whatever price you can afford or whatever price you can pay. So if you're in a bad spot and you need to pay a little bit less, that's okay. If you can pay $250, I'd love it if you pay $250, but it's kind of like going to a restaurant. Imagine going to a nice restaurant and they let you name your price. I do that because I want it to be affordable for everybody out there. And you can learn more about those workshops by going to thrivetimeshow.com. And if you want to learn more about scheduling that business consulting appointment, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com and click here on business growth consulting, and you click here on schedule your 13-point assessment, and away you go. And so now, Bloomer, without any further ado, we're prepared to end today's show with the Boom. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Wait. Boom stands for big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum.
That's right.
That's what it stands for.
You got to have it.
You got to bring the boom every single day if you want to build a scalable company. Otherwise, if you show up to work and you don't bring big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum, you're not going to have success. If you just listen to what we're saying on today's show and you don't put some energy into it, you're not going to have success. So you got to really bring that boom, folks. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring, and then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you can spend a day or two with us, make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to $25,000-$35,000 a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. go to our website, tiptopcanine.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top Canine is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income, but is really rewarding.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.